If you live in the area of Connecticut, in the Hartford area, I am actually this month's speaker for the Connecticut Horticultural Society. This event takes place October 19th at 7 p.m. at the Elmwood Community Center in West Hartford, Connecticut. It also will be on Zoom. You do need to register with the Connecticut Horticultural Society. You can find a link there on their Facebook page. So if you're around, I hope you'll join me. And please, if you do come in person, please come introduce yourself. I'm not sure if any of you have taken the time to visit my website, but I have a lot of blogs on gardening. And one that's very relevant for the moment, because a lot of people are asking me about, do I cut down my grasses? So I have a whole blog on grasses, and I will link it below this video so you can take a look, read through some information that I have there, and hopefully you'll find it interesting and take a look through some of the other blogs that are there, because there are a lot of them. I've been blogging for years. So grasses are great for fall and winter garden interest, and that's what you'll find there. Before I start, I just thought you might like to see what my Temple of Bloom 7 sunflower, Heptacodium, looks like right now. So the little flower is already bloomed. 7 sunflower is a beautiful but very easy small tree. It's got beautiful foliage, fragrant flowers, and they give way to these beautiful, colorful bracts. And it's got a beautiful peeling bark that's striking even in the winter. Years ago, I planted one at another house of mine, and now it's huge. I've seen it a few times. So I'm looking forward to this one growing up. But if you'll remember in an earlier video, I just transplanted this, and I'm really happy to see it's doing so well. And just a reminder, check out our Amazon store. I really appreciate if you're going to buy any of these things that you support our affiliate links. We do get some commission for that, and it really does help the channel. And pretty much everything that I do talk about, I do try to link in my Amazon store, and it's always linked underneath the videos. Thanks so much for your support. We have an unseasonably warm day here, and I have a lot that I want to get done before it gets too hot, and it's actually supposed to get kind of humid. But I wanted to show you a couple of things, tools that I've been using. I finally broke down and bought myself a blower so I can clean up my mess easier. I've got to say it's relatively light. Now we have all Ryobi tools here, so it made sense for us to stick with Ryobi because we have you know, all the batteries and the chargers. So this is the one I got, the Ryobi 18 volt 1+ HP high performance, and it can handle, you know, pretty decent amount of leaf debris that's kind of heavy. The other thing that I've been using to cut things down is I have a hedge trimmer that I use, and I just used that yesterday to start cutting back more of my catmint, daylilies, and over here some salvias, and I've just been trying to clean things up so I can get things organized. So I thought you guys might be interested in seeing that. Some of our nights are getting kind of cool. I see my hyacinth bean, the leaves are kind of looking nasty. I've got a few flowers still, but yeah, it's not looking great. So let me show you what else I want to do today. We're going to go down to the greenhouse. I am going to put my Amaryllis, start putting my Amaryllis into dormancy. They've been sitting in the greenhouse. I didn't put them in the ground, but you know, they have some nice green leaves. Now I've seen a lot of people, I don't do this very often, and the reason I don't do it every year is because I seem to have a lot of trouble with fungus gnats, and they seem to have originally been brought in with Amaryllis that I bought. So I'm not going to keep them in the pots. I'm going to take them out of the pots, I'm going to clean them up, and I am then when it's time to bring them out of dormancy, then I'll repot them with some fresh soil. These were repotted with fresh soil, and I still feel like I just can't seem to get rid of them all. So I'm going to Like I said, I have leaves. I see a lot of people say leave the leaves. Other people say cut the leaves. I think I'll leave the leaves. I'm just going to put them in some bulb crates for right now. Let them dry out a little bit. And then I'll move them into a dark space in my basement. So what I'm also going to do, of course, I have tags for them. This is a Quaro. So I'm going to, oh, you know what? I need something to put this dirt in. Hang on a minute. Let me go get a bucket. Right now I have the fan off in here so you can actually hear me talking. But it's pretty hot in here. It's already 90 degrees. So I'm going to get this done quickly. So I'm going to take my tag. I'm going to take the Amaryllis out. I'm going to be careful not to destroy the roots. I'm putting the dirt in a bucket. I'm going to try and clean these up a little bit. I'm actually going to stick them in a bucket of water also to try and get any extra. Is this the right way to do it? This is the way I'm doing it. Now, I do see a lot of people say you can cut some of these roots. Right now, the bulb feels pretty firm. This is a Quaro. I'm just going to stick it in a bucket of water, which I have outside the greenhouse here, and just rinse it off a little bit. Okay, I will cut these, and then I'm going to put it with its tag, and I will attach the tags so I have a better, I don't lose them. Here's another Quaro, so we'll put those together. These were good size little containers. This is a little 1 gallon container. I think I bought a bunch of them at like one of my local nurseries. Amaryllis like to be pot bound. And they also want, at least half of the bulb showing when you actually plant them. So again, I'm just gonna, it is so hot in the greenhouse with the fan not going. Even though I have a shade cloth on it and I have a vent in the ceiling and a vent in the wall. Again, really nice roots. The bulbs feel good. I've been cutting the leaves off as they die. These leaves look good. I'll leave them to just dry out. Like I said, I'm gonna just rinse these off, so hopefully I don't have any bugs coming in the house, and I'm going to pile them in my bulb crates. So let's keep going with this. It's a little boring, I realize, so I'll speed this up. This is Pink Surprise, and from here on out I'll speed them up. These are just some supports I have. Amaryllis, I find, really do need to be supported. This was a big guy. This is a really big one. It looks like she's got some babies. So it looks like I'm going to have a couple more Pink Surprises here. I've been letting these dry out now for the last, at least the last week, maybe even a little bit longer. Like I said, it looks like I've got 2 little babies here. Little daughters. So I'm just getting all the dirt off so I can, assess the roots, see if I see any rot. I will, be able to get that out. So I'm just trying, since they're very dry, the dirt's coming off pretty easily. I really can't complain about this. So this is job number 1 for today. And I apologize, I am going to have to get out of this greenhouse because it's crazy hot. So Pink Surprise, I'll put over here by itself. I'll do 1 more, and then I'm gonna get out of here. So again, I've got plant supports. Oh, and I just dropped a piece of it. This is Gervais. taking off the dirt, which at this point is very dry. Again, like I said, I'm just rinsing them in some plain water, just to try and make sure I don't have any bugs that I'm bringing into the basement, and try to get ahead of fungus gnats, which are a massive problem. I still have them in some of my houseplants. I've tried every remedy on the market that I can find, every YouTube kind of idea. Really don't have a lot of success with it. So I'm just cleaning up the bulb, getting the dry stuff off. Like I said, these are going to go into dormancy now for a good 8 to 10 weeks. And depending when you want these to bloom, like if you want this for Christmas, you know, count back 8 to 10 weeks, and that's when you need to get your things into dormancy. You know, if you want these a little bit later in the year, I would say bring them out of dormancy a few at a time. Do you need all of your amaryllis blooming at the same time? Probably not. So this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to keep at it. But like I said, it's way too hot in here. I've got to get the fan back on. So I'm going to go on to my next project, and I'll come back later and finish this, and I will show you when they're all done and out. All right, first job's done. Okay, so I've got all my amaryllis. Now, what I decided to do, instead of worrying about attaching the tags, I'm just sitting them in the empty pots that I just took them out of. That way I have them ready to go back in. And like I said, they'll just sit and dry. I'm going to bring them in once they're dried off because I washed the roots off. So I'll bring those in. I am growing some geraniums that I hope to have for the winter. Now, another job I have today, I've got 3 buckets of Oriental rose lilies. This is Olympia. I have Samantha in here also. I took them out of the containers they were in because I think I had white flies in one of them. And I need to get these in the ground. I have some other ones that are in the ground. They do fine. So this is another job for today. The jobs are endless. I don't know about you, but the jobs are endless. So I'm going to move these into the shade so they don't get scorched because it's hot in here. I'm going to turn the fan back on. So I decided for the time being to let them dry out in my hoop house. And this is where I've been storing, you know, my land and sea compost and garden soil and some wood chips. So I think I'll let them dry out in here for a bit. And then I'll bring them in and put them in dark conditions. A spot in my basement that I keep things where I have my garlic. It doesn't get super cold. I wish it got a little colder, but it is what it is. And right now, it's the only place I have to store them. The garage is too warm. Okay. My next chore here is I'm going to try to save these zonal geraniums. This is a tar of roses. So this is an annual geranium. Let's get this, let's try and get this Cleome for the time being out of here, just because I don't want these all over me while I'm doing this. Okay, get that guy out of there. All right, and I'm using a Felco saw. This is the 600. So I have one plant in each of my 2 rectangular containers. Finish getting this out of the way? Maybe not. Okay, so let's see if we can dig this out. Like I said, this is a tar of roses geranium. I'm going to try and get this out of this container. Now, I have never done this. I'll be the first to say. I've never tried to save these geraniums. This is the first year I bought this one. Let's see if I can get this out. Okay. So, now it is my understanding that, you want to get as much dirt off these as possible. you also want to clean these up and cut off any diseased or dead stuff. Where's my clipper? Okay. These are the Felco 322s. So again, I'm going to be taking off, you know, any dead leaves on this plant or anything that looks, you know, diseased at all. And then we're going to clean this up. I think I might actually cut some of this stuff off too. They're actually pretty healthy. I'm not sure, let's see. Over here, let me get the rest of this off. The stuff comes off pretty easily. You just bend backwards really. And we'll get this stuff off. These don't have any blooms on them. And so they should be fairly easy to deal with. Now, they actually have a lot of new growth, which is nice. So I'm going to get this cleaned up as much as I can. I'm going to stick it in my little bucket of water that I was just using for the Amaryllis. And then it's my understanding that if you put these upside down in a bag, like a paper bag, and just store them for the winter, they should be okay. So we'll see if it's going to work. I honestly don't know, but I guess what's the worst that can happen? Now, the biggest problem I'm going to have is that these plants are gigantic. And so this is not going to fit in my brown paper bag that I have selected for this purpose. So I think what I'm going to have to do is when I run over next to Home Depot, I'm going to have to get the big leaf bags. Let's put this right now in my bucket of water. Try and get as much dirt off this as possible. And then again, just like the Amaryllis, I'm going to let this dry for a couple of days. And then I'm going to turn it upside down, or you can lay it on its side from what I understand. Also, like I said, I've never done this. I'm just trying it. I have 2 of these attar of roses. I probably could seriously cut this back, and I think I will cut off a lot of the growth, because in the spring, you're basically going to cut all this off and replant it anyway. So actually, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm not even going to worry about it. So let's take this back. It's a lot for this plant to support anyway. So let's cut this back a little bit. I'm cutting right above, well, if I was right side up, I'm cutting right above a leaf node. Let's see, this is a long guy. Take that off. And we've got another long guy here. Let's do that and that. Much more manageable. Okay, so I'm going to now take this and let me grab a paper bag and show you what I mean. So basically, you just take them, stick them inside a bag. Like I said, what I've heard is you hang them upside down. Now, this is not fitting in this bag, apparently, so I'm still going to need a bigger bag. And then you just close it up. And then you can just leave it for the winter. So that's what I'm going to do. I have 2 of these, so I'm going to get and do the other one. But I'm going to try and save this geranium attar of roses. Hopefully you find that helpful and interesting. Like I said, I did cut off a lot of this. I may try to, maybe I'll try and root some of these. In which case I'm just going to take a leaf, going to cut most of it off, and I'm going to pop it in some soil according to Monty Don. So if it works for Monty Don, hopefully it'll work for Robin. I'm just going to clean this off as much as I can, and I'm going to leave it to dry in a cool spot. look at the roots that were in these containers. I had the Cleome, some Gora, and the geraniums. So I've emptied both containers out, and now I'm just going to let these sit and dry. Like I said, I washed all the dirt off, and then I'll knock the rest off when I can. I cut a lot of the leaves off, and then as soon as they dry, I'll hang them upside down in paper bags, like people suggest. The Caladiums and the Cannas that I'm saving right here, Carolyn Wharton and Toucan Coral. And I'm going to show you, I started pulling these things out the other day, and you know, going to save them for the winter, save them for next season. I get asked a lot about garden journaling. I have books that I use every year. You know, sometimes they change. I tend to use this a lot. This is probably like my 5th or 6th book, but I have tons of books over all my years of gardening. And I do keep track of, you know, everything I do. So, you know, I moved my 7-sun tree. You know, I added a new Bosnian pine. You know, so I make notes, and then I do actually go back and I highlight things that maybe I don't want to forget, or that I was waiting to do and then I didn't do. So that's my garden journal. I'm not huge on decorating. Well, for Halloween, we have no kids that come here. But this is my fall wreath, and I'm going to change it up a little bit. So this was what I added last year to this wreath. I'm going to add a couple of, you know, fake sunflowers. I'm going to put in some purple leaves, and I'm going to take out, you know, these little white, whatever they are, and put in these little purple ones. So that's my plan for that. And because the glue gun won't reach to the front porch, I'm going to have to do this in the house. So I'll show it to you when I get it done, but this is what it looks like from last year. Well, I wasn't joking when I said I was going to be buying evergreens. So here's my haul for today. I got a whole bunch of them. So these two are the Geraldo Hinoki cypress. And so this Chamaecyparis gets 4 feet tall, 8 feet wide, hardy down to -20, sun to partial shade. Gorgeous golden yellow sprays of foliage. Look how pretty this is. So those are the first two. Let's look at what else I got. I got a Lundabees. Let's see, how does it? Lundabees dwarf blue spruce. 2 to 4 inches a year, 2 feet high by 3 feet wide. Picea pungens, of course. That beautiful steel blue needle. I really love these guys. I've got another Mugo pine. Let's see what else I got here. I really like this guy. This is a thread branch cypress. Whoops. Let me see if I can get that. Thread branch cypress. Chamaecyparis piscifera. 12 by 12. Hardy to -30. Full sun. Really pretty globe shape. These long, thin branches, kind of like the thread leaf. Very pretty. I really like this. Now this guy is going to go in a container, large container. This is called a Picea orientalis Tiny Tim. So I don't know a ton about this, and I'm going to go look it up, but I know it's hardy in my zone, and I know it won't grow too big or too fast. So that's what I got. That's new. Oh, and I finally got my hands on a Proven Winners Pearl Glam Beautyberry. Very excited about this guy. I've been trying to find it for a while. So that's today's haul. I wasn't joking. Like I said, when I said I'm pulling out perennials, I'm going to give a bunch to a friend, and I'm replacing them with evergreens. It's that time of year. Look what just arrived. I've got My first set of bulbs, here's from Longfield Gardens and another group from Van Engelen. We've got stuff coming from Color Blends and Brent and Becky's and Rosengard. Time to start thinking about where all these plants are gonna go. And here they are, the first set of bulbs to be delivered. And I'm still working on my fall wreath. Hopefully I get it up before Christmas. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.